thank you for coming up from where, or down from wherever you came to be at this event. I hope you've been having a good time. Good. Okay. The first thing I would like to do is just, this is our 10th year of having the Eagle Cam up there. In October it will be 10 years. So I thought it would be appropriate to just tell people, and we would like to thank the person, somebody that helped me get it started at the very beginning. The way that I found out about the eagle nest was I was doing bald eagle counts. They had them every year for over 30 years up here, and we would do them 4 times a year, and I was always volunteering to go do the bald eagle counts, and I loved doing it. And got so, I would always get assigned by the biologist. I would always get assigned the one closest to my house because that's where I loved it. And I got to watch that. And then, so I was working with the biologist and learning things. And we were already friends of Fawnskin at the time, and then friends of Big Bear Valley, and doing environmental work, when the Forest Service discovered that there was a nest that was actually being used. And it was actually a 3rd grader that discovered the chick in the nest because the Forest Service took them on a tour around the lake every year to learn about bald eagles and see where they hung out. And this was a place, and usually they do practice nests. We used to have only wintering bald eagles, and they did practice nests so that they were bonding before they went back home to their real nest and continued with their nesting season. And so one year in 2012, they were showing the bald eagle practice nest, they thought, to some 3rd graders, and one of them looked through the scope and said, "There's a chick in there." And one of the biologists, just kind of rolled his eyes, and I'm sure he was thinking, okay, yeah, but he looked through and there was a chick in there. And that chick turned out to be what we think is Jackie. We don't have any positive proof, but there was an eagle the right age every year in the valley, and the only other eagles that were here all year round were the adults, Ricky and Lucy, her parents. And so then there was one chick that stayed every year, and so there were the 3 of them in the valley. And during that growing up season, when Jackie was on the nest, I had the privilege of the biologist at the Forest Service telling me, showing me where the nest was, and because she loaned me her scope and her spotting scope, and I took notes for her and things like that, so I would watch. And I stood out there for hours in the parking lot watching, no matter what the weather, watching from, over half a mile away, watching what she was doing, and getting to see the parents come in and feed her, and seeing her wing her size and knock sticks off the nest as she was doing that, because she got so big. They named her Jack because that was somebody that had been doing the bald eagle counts every year, and he had just passed, so they named the chick Jack. But by the time she fled, she was bigger than both of her parents, and so the name changed to Jackie. And I loved watching her grow up, and I just felt so connected, and I almost felt like, even though it was half a mile away, like she was watching me back and standing out there. And I just fell in love with learning about all the things that she did and watching her behavior, and it was fascinating. And after she fledged, there was a juvenile, the right age, that came back and sat in a tree like about this close to me and watched me watch through the lens, and I'm sure she was saying, "How do you like being watched all the time?" But I couldn't stop watching, and the biologist at the Forest Service at that time, she's since retired, but she is the one who had connection with Dr. Pete Sharp in Catalina, who has done other eagle nests and knew how to set up all the equipment and everything. So I talked to him, we hired him, we had to raise the money for 2 years. I took this to our board and they said, yes, okay, we can put this up. And, you know, I thought it was just me wanting to watch these eagles. And there were 2 years when, you know, they laid eggs and nothing happened, and ravens came in, and then they laid eggs and the little chicks were in the nest before a storm but not after. And I just wanted to see what was happening there. And like maybe some of you understand, it became an obsession. And so we ended up being able to hire Dr. Sharp and get all the equipment and put it all together and put the Nest camera up in 2015 in October. And then we discovered, thanks to the Forest Service and the tracking that they do, that the eagles had moved their nest. And so that first year there was nobody there. We didn't, but I did get to see where they had moved their nest to, and it was about a quarter mile away. And then after that, Ricky and Lucy seemed to have disappeared from the valley. We don't know why or where they went. They weren't tagged or anything. But after a year of, quote, empty nest with the camera, then Jackie came and took it over. And that's a whole nother story. But in that first part, this biologist, you know, helped me do things like set up the Facebook page that I had no clue how to do, and, you know, get me going on knowing Dr. Sharp and finding all of this information out. And she had gotten me interested in the eagles just with the eagle counts at the beginning. And so I just wanted to, I'm going to give her an award. She couldn't be here today. Just a little certificate of thank you to, her name is Robin Eliason. And she's now retired from the Forest Service, but she really did a lot to help at the beginning and get us going in what we were doing on setting up the Eagle Cam and getting us, you know, being able to post on Facebook and doing things like that way back in 2012, which was ancient times now. And so I just wanted to say thank you to her and acknowledge that she was a big part of this at the very beginning. And I would also like to thank the Forest Service in general, because we have a permit to be able to have this camera on their Forest Service land. And yeah. And I think a lot of people have heard a lot of the history, but I would like to go over a little bit of it for anybody who hasn't. When Jackie came in 2016, she was there. She brought a mate with her, and we know how old she was because her temples were black, which means she was just turning 5. And so we've been able to keep track of how old she is. She's 13 this year, and the mate was sort of named Mr. B for Mr. Big Bear. He was very much bowing down to Jackie all the time. He would do anything she said. He would kind of whimper around and say, okay, yes, dear, yes, dear. And it was all good. They had 2 chicks, 2 eggs that hatched, and that was Stormy and BBB for Big Bear Baby. BBB did not make it through a storm at about between 5 and 6 weeks old. And eaglets, at the very beginning, they're just little balls of fluff, as you've all seen. And so they're not waterproof. And so they have to stay under Jackie or Shadow all the time. And of course, it's usually Jackie, because if it's bad weather, Jackie's rules say Jackie is on the nest. And don't even question it. And at night, Jackie is on the nest. Don't question it. These are, you know, she's got her rules laid out, and anybody around her knows what they are. Mr. B was very helpful with the chicks and everything, and he was a good dad. But after Stormy had fledged and was still coming back to the nest, another eagle came in and sat right in their nest. And that's very rare because during nesting season they will chase anybody away. And so this other eagle was just turning 5, so we know how old that one is too. And I actually got, well, I know that I saw on camera, Stormy tried to chase this one away, even the little chick, you know, that was now grown and full and fledged, but he was trying to chase this intruder off their nest, and Jackie was trying to chase him off, and Mr. B was trying to chase him off, and I got to see live the last showdown, we shall say, between Mr. B and Shadow, that he got named Shadow, and Shadow would stand there in the nest, and he had decided he was going to be there, and when anybody would chase him off, he might move over to another little limb, you know, a little ways away, and he'd come right back as soon as anybody left or when nobody was paying attention. In this last showdown, Mr. B was there, and he kept poking at Shadow and trying to get Shadow to leave, and Shadow was like one of those punching dummies. He would just lean back out of the way, and then as soon as Mr. B wasn't poking, he would stand back up, and Mr. B's like, you know, what do I do now? He was there, and he kept trying, and it was like, you know, probably at least 20 or 30 minutes that he kept, and Shadow just wouldn't go anywhere. And so finally Mr. B left, and that was the last we saw of Mr. B on the nest. And we don't know where he went or anything else, but he said, okay, I give up. So Shadow took over, and Jackie said, okay, I'll take it. And I think it was really a good shift, because Mr. B, as good as he was of being a father and a mate and everything, he was pretty wimpy. And so Jackie was happy to have somebody like Shadow, and Shadow came in, and he was, you know, would kind of bow down to her a little bit, and then as soon as he went his own way, he would go and do what he wanted. And I actually think she liked that strength in him better than she had somebody to just boss around all the time. And so, and I've watched over the last 7 years that they've been together, I've watched them grow closer, and it has been a beautiful journey to watch. And each year you can see that they behave differently with each other, closer with each other. They understand each other's behavior. They understand what the other one wants. They like teasing each other, and both of them do that. They each have their own way, but it's hilarious to me to see their personalities come out and develop, and to see how that bond has really blossomed over the years. But that first year, when they were together, it was in the late fall or late summer, and then they were together that year to start bonding and adding sticks to the nest, and then they had chicks the next season, and that was Simba and Cookie. And like BBB, Cookie didn't make it through a storm again because they're not waterproof. They have to stay under mom and dad. If they get it all wet during a freezing storm, they just don't have a chance. So at about between 6 and 7 weeks is when they get enough waterproof feathers that they're more safe out in the weather. And you got to see that with these chicks this year, that when they were safe, and Jackie wasn't worried about them being underneath, but at that age they're too big to fit underneath and not waterproof, so that's the really dangerous time. The Simba did fledge, and we got to see, you know, him leave and go off, and then we had 2 years of the eggs not hatching, and that is, we don't know why. Sometimes, one time it was ravens got the eggs, but I also think that Jackie and Shadow wouldn't have left them unprotected for a minute and a half if they didn't already detect something wasn't okay with those eggs. So I think, you know, the ravens were just doing them a favor and cleaning out the nest for them. And each time we don't have eggs hatch, it's very sad, and you can even see the sadness in Jackie and Shadow when they have to leave. And there was one year when Shadow just wouldn't give up. And even though Jackie's rules are, if it's night, Jackie's on the nest, when Shadow wouldn't give up, Jackie had given up a couple days before Shadow would. And he sat on the nest all night, and she was even calling him from the roost tree, and he would not leave. He just could not give up. And so finally he did, and it took a few days before he would bring sticks, before he would be back, behaving like Shadow. But he finally did, and they're very resilient. They teach us resilience in amazing ways, because no matter what happens, they get over it. They take a few days. They do feel their emotions, and if everybody can learn that lesson from them, I would love it, to feel your emotions. You don't have to wildly express them, but just feel them, and then you get over it, you get past it. That's what our emotions are, just messages. So they just are telling us, what we need to learn. And Jackie and Shadow show that in very amazing ways, what we need to learn. And they take their emotions as messages, and then they move on. And that year, I got to see Shadow the first time when Jackie was leaving out the back door, and Shadow rushed up and bit her tail, and you could almost see the grin on his beak, if you can imagine that. Like he was happy again to, and she of course turned around and snapped at him. And that's the reaction that he wants. And so they were both happy and feeling back to normal. Then we had, and a lot of you I think have got to see the year we had Spirit.
Oh yeah.
And that was a beautiful year. There were 2 eggs. Only one hatched. Spirit took that other egg as her personal blankie for the nest, and she would not even let Jackie and Shadow touch it. They weren't allowed. She slept next to it, she hugged it, she did all kinds of things, and that was her egg. And it stayed there until she fledged. And I was a little worried that she might not leave it, but she did. And for those of you that know Fiona, Fiona came and tried to take that egg. And that egg is pretty much as big as Fiona. And she put her little paws around, and you could see her just tugging, just working as hard as she could, and it wouldn't budge. And so she finally had to give up, but she worked at it at least 15 minutes, I'm sure, just sitting there trying to, she knew she had, found this beautiful powerhouse of food, and she just couldn't do anything with it. It eventually got buried in the nest somewhere, like the other chicks did when they passed and things like that. They get covered up with sticks, they become part of the nest, part of the heritage. And then again we had 2 sad years with the eggs not hatching. One of them, Jackie sat on the egg and set a new record for sitting on the eggs for 62 hours during storm, and she would not move. She did not go eat, she did not do anything. She wouldn't let Shadow, he came and checked on her even a couple times, and no, I'm here, I'm okay. And she would just get up and shake off the snow and sit back down and do it again. But it was actually maybe the snow, that all that snow piled up, that made it so the eggs couldn't hatch. We don't know. Again, because we'd have to have an egg autopsy, and by the time we could get somebody to climb up the tree to do that, and it's 145 feet in the air in a Jeffrey pine tree. But by the time we could get somebody to do that, the ravens would have the eggs, so it's just not worth even trying. But the eggs they have pores. They do need to have, some kind of oxygenation. They need to breathe, basically, a little bit, have airflow. And with all that snow piled around up a couple feet and Jackie on the eggs, it may be that they just didn't get enough airflow because we already have low oxygen up here. That's just one guess. We don't really know. It's nature. We have to watch nature, observe what happens, feel our pain, feel whatever happens, but keep watching and learning from nature, because that's who we are. A lot of us have forgotten that. And so Jackie and Shadow are reminding us to connect with who we are and to connect with nature. And then after 2 sad years, it was so beautiful for Jackie to lay 3 eggs. This was the second time she laid 3 eggs this year. And then to watch them all hatch. And it's unusual for eagles to lay 3 eggs. The average is like 2 eggs, but she did 3, and it's really unusual for all 3 of them to hatch. So that was such a beautiful sight, and everybody was celebrating, and I'm sure maybe some other people besides me were crying. But seeing all of those little eaglets in these little fluffy, they look like little aliens to me when they're first born, with those dark eyes and little fluff balls, like they just landed in the nest. And that was amazing. And then people were worried because the oldest one was picking on the others, and that's what they do. They, their instinct is to try and get rid of the others in case there's not enough food. They have enough for themselves. So that's their instinct. But as soon as they're fed enough, you saw that the little bonking and all that kind of slowed down, because they have enough food. If they have enough food, they don't need to fight anybody. They just take it all, whatever. They will still pull and try to get what they can. But they even, you see Sunny and Gizmo doing that now, tugging on fish and things like that. But if the other one gets it, then they just say, okay, I'll get the next one. So that it was very sad during the storm that came, and when we discovered we had seen all 3 chicks the night before, and then the next morning there were only 2 that stood up in the nest, and we didn't know what had happened. Of course, there's lots of rumors going around. Please don't buy into all the rumors and wait for the truth, because it doesn't help you to just be worried and all of that. There's not anything we can do. It's nature. We watch, we observe, we learn. But what we discovered was the 2 chicks that were left were very different in size. And the 2 oldest ones were very similar in size. So we knew the 3rd one was still there. And then, based on some of the behaviors and things like that, we determined that it was the oldest one that actually didn't make it. And what I suspect is that one was so aggressive, Misty was so out there and aggressive, that she may have just been, saying, I can do this, and gotten a little part of herself outside of underneath Jackie. And again, if they get wet, they don't have any protection and they just freeze. So we think that's what happened. One of the beautiful things I saw was Jackie this time was having a hard time handling it and couldn't even come to the nest. And Shadow took over trying to, help her with her emotions. And so he went, it'd been there for about a day, but he went into the nest bowl and took that chick out and put it on the side. And then Jackie came a little while later and she carried it off. And we got to see on a separate security camera that we have, that Jackie took it off and she dropped it out of her beak. She dropped it into the forest. And it was like she was doing her own eagle ceremony for letting go of that chick in the forest. And it was just beautiful. I mean, they have emotions. They know what they're doing. They have intelligence. And I'm so happy that everybody is getting to see that finally and really appreciating these animals for who they are. So after that chick passed and everybody had to, go through all the emotional trauma of that, everybody was happy to see that there were 2 left and how much they were getting along. And there was still bonking going on, and I don't know if anyone noticed, but it was actually the little one that was bonking. And she would, stand behind the other one, and it would be, the aggressor, and the little one would peck the back of the head, and then it would turn around and she'd say, oh, I didn't mean it, I was just kidding. And then she'd lay down immediately and be, out of the way. But she was the one that was doing all the troublemaking. And that is the one that has grown to be Gizmo. Bigger than Shadow, bigger than Jackie now, if you haven't noticed. She is definitely the little stinker. And you may have noticed, those of you that watch Spirit, she was pretty aggressive and a stinker. Those female eagles, you don't want to mess with them. So it's really great to see her go from the little one that people thought wouldn't make it because the others will kick her out and all that, to being the biggest one and the aggressor and everything. And it's great that she made it this far. It's a celebration just in that in itself, that the runt is now the one that runs everything. It's been beautiful to see Sunny and Gizmo both fledge, and Gizmo kind of did a little, almost fled, but she picked it up right away and she flew very quickly. She just didn't quite mean to go at that moment. But Sunny did it beautifully, and Gizmo has been watching Sunny. I don't know if you've noticed, when Gizmo would be laying in the nest waiting for Mom to feed her because she didn't want to do anything, she would be watching Sunny and studying Sunny and seeing everything that Sunny did, and then she would try it and see, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. And so it was awesome to see them, learning and watching each other and watching Jackie and Shadow. And one of them now has been sleeping on the roost tree because every night they saw Jackie and Shadow go back and forth to the roost tree. So they learned all these things. And to watch Jackie and Shadow and the things that they teach them, sometimes on purpose. Like, I've seen them bring a fish and then tug of war with the chick, or the eaglet now, and then you can see Jackie and Shadow just kind of let go. So they were teasing them. They were trying to get them to fight to get that fish, and trying to teach them what they need to know out in the world. And watching this behavior is beautiful. And I was just talking to somebody that pointed out that he noticed when Sunny soared for the first time that she was flapping and flapping and flapping. She was with Jackie and Shadow and flapping, and then all of a sudden, it's like she stopped flapping. Like, all of a sudden it hit her, oh my gosh, I can just soar. And she didn't know it until that minute, but you could see it happen. And so seeing all those kinds of moments with the eagles is beautiful. And thank you all for watching this and for understanding and opening your heart to them and to everything that's happening. It's been beautiful. We don't know how long how long Sunny and Gizmo will hang around the area. So far they still are, and they don't know how to hunt themselves. It'll take a while before they know how to fish. I think Jackie especially has been bringing other food to the nest besides fish, so they learn that this is food too. You can find these things, on the ground, because they do eat roadkill, besides fishing and ducks. And it'll be a while, but they are learning, and so far they've just been around the nest area, not really out and about much, at least that we've been able to see. And I'm really glad that we improved the second camera this year so that we can see them much better up closer with the zoom and the pan and keep track of what they're doing. It could be another few weeks that you get to watch, and just keep checking the camera. And then Jackie and Shadow will get a vacation. In case you've looked on their face, they need it. And during the summer, they stay in the area, but they go around other parts of the lake, and they check on the nest, sometimes every week, sometimes every 2 or 3 weeks, and just make sure nobody else is trying to take over. But they are busy off, relaxing, and they do molting during that time, so they come back looking beautiful and shiny and renewed. We just have to watch and see what happens next. And one of the things that everybody likes is how much we follow things with the camera tracking and everything. So after this, we're going to have a beautiful eagle dance here with our Native American friends, and then after that, Callie Condor, you may have heard of her, one of the team lead on the camera operators. We have 3 camera operators, by the way, and one of them is in Greece, so that she can do it while we're sleeping and keep track of those early morning things that happen, or Fiona out in the middle of the night, and know what's going on. For anybody that didn't get on all the things today, tomorrow there's more sign-ups. Everything opens up again, and we're here all morning and early afternoon, and you will get to sign up for whatever kayaking or boating or Big Bear Queen, things that you didn't get to do today. And so come back, and we tried to make the lines a little better this year. Hopefully it worked a little bit, so you don't have to stand in a big long line, and you can go and, you know, have fun talking to the other booths, and at least, you know, going other places and not just standing there. If anybody has suggestions, I'm open to hearing them. We always want to keep improving this. And thank you very much for all that you all do. Without you, we couldn't be doing what we're doing. And thank you to our whole team. We have a big team now that's doing all these things, with people answering your questions, doing chat, doing the camera work. Yeah, it's beautiful to see that many people are that enthused about the Eagles, and they all do great work. So I would like to turn this over to Eric Runningpath for a beautiful eagle dance.
When we light the sage, it's a purification, it's a cleansing. And we do this at every event and every powwow. And so this is an eagle fan. This was given to me up in Washington from a Native American tribe when I was up there. And they gifted it to me, and to be able to use it in many ceremonies. We want to thank the Creator. Thank you, Creator. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for everyone being here today, to be able to celebrate and to be able to honor Jackie and Shadow, Gizmo and Sunny. Their adventures, their life that is going ahead now. They're going out to adventure the different things that are around them, to be able to hunt, to be able to find food, to be able to share later on when they hopefully will have other little ones, to be able to carry on this tradition. Jackie and Shadow, we always ask that you bless them. We ask that you always keep an eye and always take care of all our eagles throughout the world. Wherever the eagles are, we always ask you, Creator, to be able to take care of them so that they will continue these blessings, so that everyone may see the things that they do, and to keep our eagles ongoing. We again ask everyone here, we thank you to have this celebration, and bless all of them. Aho. And the word for eagle in the Navajo language is atse. Can everyone say atse? Atse. Atse. Very good. That's eagle in Navajo. So we're going to share with you the eagle dance. Thank you. Thank you. Let's give Braden another big hand. So, thank you. We do many different dances. Again, many tribes throughout the United States have different songs, different styles that they do. And we have dances for many different types of animals and things as well. So the next dance that I would like to share is what we call a grass dance. When we do this grass dance, it's to honor Mother Earth. It's to honor the grass that moves across the hills and the plains. Long time ago, the dancers would go out and they would stomp the tall grass. They would do a little step, a little movement. They would say the prayer, say a blessing, take and cut pieces of the grass and tuck it in their clothing, and be able to share these different songs. So this next dance is the grass dance. All right. Okay. So that is called the grass dance. The next dance we'd like to share with you is what we call a warrior dance. The warrior dance was done by the young men of the tribe. It was to show courage, to show strength when a tribe was under attack. The women would take the children and take them in the hills and keep them safe. The men, the young, and the elders would stay and protect the village. But many of our tribal chiefs were not just men, they were women as well. One of the well-known tribal chiefs of the largest tribe, the Cherokee Nation, was ran by Wilma Mankiller. She ran the tribe for over 15 or so years, many years, and so she was very well known. We also do this dance to honor all our veterans and those that are in the service protecting the United States. So this is called the warrior dance. Alrighty. Thank you. So that is called the warrior dance. Alrighty. The next dance, or next song that we'd like to do, it's what we call a bird song. And this is from our Kumeyaay tribe down in the San Diego area. There are many California tribes throughout California. There are about 100 California tribes still around. And in Palm Springs, we have the Kumeyaay. And then in San Diego, we have the Kumeyaay people. So the Kumeyays use, and the Kumeyays use shakers and rattles. They are known as bird songs. And so Braden has been learning the bird songs, and he would like to share a bird song for you. Okay, so, all right, here we go.
Oh, howe, 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 hi-yo, ho, ho, howe, 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 hi-yo, 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 ho, howe, 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 I-oh 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 ho, howe, howe, howe.
Thank you. Yeah, and yeah, he's been learning a lot. He even does the didgeridoo. Yeah, boy, you give him a didgeridoo and he'll play that thing all day long. So yeah, he's doing really great. So the next dance we'd like to do is we'd like to have some of you come up and join in real quick. And this is what we call a round dance. So we'd like to have those that would like to participate come up, and again, this is a dance that you can join in as well. It's a very easy dance. It's a side step, side step, side step, side step dance that we do. So we'd like to just have a few those that would like to come up and join in a little circle here and do what we call the friendship dance. Okay, so even kids, come on up. Again, adults as well. And we're doing this in honor of the baby eagles. We do many dances, again, to honor different animals. So we'd like to have you come up and participate real quick. Okay, so we're going to go side step, and we're going to go around the circle. Okay, so so come on up a little bit. There you go. All right. Alrighty, very good. Thank you. Very good. So that is called the Friendship Dance or Round Dance. And that again is to anyone that would like to dance at a powwow can be able to do that. And again to honor the Eagles. The last dance that we'd like to share with you is what we call the hoop dance. The hoop dance is using rings and circles to show different things that are in nature. So we're going to share with you, Braden and I, are going to share with you some designs that we do using these hoops. There are many different hoop dancers and they use anywhere up to over 150 hoops. So we're going to share with you this dance. Thank you. All righty. Let's give Braden another big hand. All right. Very good. So, again, I want to thank all of you for coming out. Again, it's a great pleasure to be here and to be able to celebrate Jackie and Shadow's new babies and to be able to watch them myself on the video cam and to watch them grow and be able to do the things they're doing. So again, many thanks and many prayers. Stay safe. And again, aho, thank you very much. Thank you.